Hello everybody, I am Mashif and welcome to my first video with voice. Yeah, so I thought I would introduce my little village to anyone who is interested. I have uploaded some 40-50 hours of gameplay already, and this is the result. So I thought now that I might as well just give a little introduction on how it all happened basically. Yeah, so I chose this map with a big lake, and it was because I wanted to make sure that I can fish without any problem. At the time when I chose this, I didn't know whether or not there is any limit on fish or something like this, so it seems like there is enough space for fishing in here. Plus there was a rather large clear area here where I eventually decided to settle down. Originally this area all the way here, that was originally a forest, and I just settled down right next to it here. That was my original place of settlement. So as you can see, this is mainly the industrial area here. All the usual stuff, tannery, weavers, shoemakers, and all this kind of stuff. So that's all cool. And then these were the first 10 houses what I had to build. And we have our mayor here, actually 92 years old. He works in a town hall, settled 57 years ago. Yes, so actually it is now April 778 or 1778, depending on your preference. We have 429 people in the village. 327 of those are adults, as you can see from the demographics. And yeah, I have some money, so there is no problem with money. I figured a fairly simple way of making loads of money, and so I have been doing that fairly well. I'm using every opportunity to utilize that option. Yes, so let's just move a little bit higher up here. Yeah, so in the first year I built these 10 houses, and over the winter I constructed this farmhouse here. So that was my first farmhouse, and I was basically doing farming from kind of the second year on. I have the trading post. Actually, I really like the world map. So this appears to be an island. So this is our city here, and then we have 3 other cities we can trade with. In order to get some trade done, you need to send a messenger. I would say that the messenger brings the demand and the offers, and it has some costs, and it has some distance, obviously. So it takes 19 days for the messenger to get there and be there. Yes. Balaklia, 6 days. Derkachi and Merefa. So I have been trading with them fairly intensively. So I have loads of houses, and just to give you a quick overview of what I have. Well, I typically plant buckwheat, wheat, sunflower. Well, actually I plant everything, but because I use buckwheat a lot for all the animal production or meat production, hence I have loads of those. The wheat usually turns into flour rather quickly. I don't really use wheat for feeding animals. And then there is potato, honey. I always trade the honey. I have some pork as well. That is all my own production, so I have a lot of that. And I figured that harvesting sunflower is fairly simple, and when you have the oil workshop, then you can generate sunflower oil, and 2 sunflower oils are selling for 360 gold, I guess. And well, I have traded loads of sunflower oils. There is a lot of clothes as well, and shoes and clothes sell for a lot. So what I sometimes do is do I have that one now? No, hemp, yes. So sometimes I grow loads of hemps, or I actually trade hemps as well, and the hemps goes into this warehouse that goes into the weaver workshops. I have 3 of these weaver workshops outside of the main season, the on season. Well, these ladies are usually, you know, planting the stuff, but during the winter and during midsummer they are making the textile, and then it turns into clothes, of course, in the tailor's workshop, and that is fairly pricey, so I like to trade with that as well. Yeah. What else? I have a church here, so that's good. Here is my little marketplace, and I have here another granary as well, but as you can see, it is fairly empty. Well, kind of my strategy has been that I am growing the population slowly, and currently I have, oh well, I actually have 18 houses available, but I will tell you the story behind that. You know, to make sure that I can keep up with production, and it appears that whatever is produced from the meat production facility, so the pigsty, the chicken coop, as well as the cow shed, that just simply gets distributed amongst the population straight away. And I have to say that nearly everybody has everything they need. Yeah, maybe not too much, but they have it. Yes. So let's see some other stuff here. So town hall economy. So that's my economy. It is, well, unfortunately it only goes back 1 year, so you know, these changes are actually visible only for the current year and the last year. Some diagrams would be interesting. Yeah, so since I'm trading a lot, I can be rather generous with the monthly wage as well as the village house rent. That was 0.5 as well in the past, but now it is 0.25 only, which result in a fairly wealthy population. So yeah, so there's supposed to be, you know, other colors back here, but I guess over 90% of my population has over 100 money. But I do know that there are a few houses with over 1,000 gold. Let's see, 1,300, 1,400. Yeah, so these are well, wealthy people in my village. So you might have spotted something interesting. Originally, the population age breakdown, it went up to 100 only, but you can see that there is a person here, about 103 years old. Some time ago I found that guy. However, I will show you someone who is currently 114 years old. So what happened in this house is that this guy had a wife, obviously, and had a son, and the son had a wife. So when I spotted that he went beyond like 95 years old, I started looking at this house regularly, and the wife went. After some time, the son went, and then the son's wife left later on, and he is still going strong. He is actually one of the construction workers right here. He is the old boy. Yes. Right here, by the way, we have this little chapel, and we have all the people who died already. One of them should be the whole boy. Which one? Yeah, well, maybe I accidentally click on it or not. Maybe not. Well, it happens. Anyway, but because I knew that it was filling up, so now I have this symmetry. Looks a little bit better. Yeah, it's just like this. Okay, so I have 3 farmhouses, and I plow everything, and every winter I just decide what to plant, basically. So 1 farmhouse, 2, and that's the 3rd one. Yes, originally I had 9 of these fields assigned to 1 farmhouse. However, I noticed that even with the laborers, which you can have a maximum of 20 of, there is not enough time to harvest everything by December. If you have 2, 4, 6, 7, so kind of 7 is ideal. Yeah, according to my experience. Plus you have like one of those fields which are fallow. So yes, so what else shall I say here? Okay, so I have 3 windmills, 1 here, 1 back here, and 1 up here. So that's supplies my flour. Okay, right here I have the chicken coop. During peak season I only have 1 woman here, otherwise I typically have 3. So I assign March and April, as well as August, September and October as planting and harvest season. So actually most of these industrial buildings have no occupants in April and August, September, October, and I'm producing enough chicken meal and enough chicken egg to supply to my population. And then I have the pigsty. What I usually do is I realize that if I protect 2 females and 1 boar, then they can have loads of little pigs. And well, you can see that there's 27 of these here, but well, the limit is 20. It is actually not too much, so it would be good to have a little bit higher limit for livestock on this pixie. When it comes to what I feed them with, so just a little bit of wheat, potato and buckwheat. So this is usually what keeps the pigs happy, and exactly the same stands for this. When it comes to cows, again, I usually protect 1 bull and 2 cows, and I always slaughter the bulls as soon as they become older than 1 year old. So same for this. And there is only 12 cows here because I only recently bought this, and that is going to be my field. However, it needs to be cleared out, obviously. Yeah, so I figured that if I put a forestry just inside, just in the middle of a forest, then it will very nicely clear my forest, as well as I can individually click on the trees as well and click remove if I wanted to. Yeah, so what I noticed is that I have at edge of the map here, and as you can see, that's where my little village must end. Yeah, so and all the way here it is all forest, so it takes some time to cut these out. If I knew that before, then I wouldn't have planted all of these little trees, these tree plantations, because I would have just focused more on cutting these out and expanding my village. Yes. What I probably try to do later on is to move into this area, because I figured that if I try to, let's say, odd field, and I odd a field when there are trees, then the woodcutters will nicely clear that area, and then I can just cancel the field, and I can arrange an area to be cleared in this way. Yeah, so a few things here. So I have 5 warehouses. In this warehouse I have lime, iron and quicklime, which is an interesting resource, because I had some lime all the way here, so I had to mine this out from this patch right here, and then I filled this kernel, this lime kernel, with the limestone. Then I made quicklime out of it. However, given that it is this is now not divisible with 100 anymore, and quicklime is not used anywhere else, and I don't have anything else on the map. I don't have any limestone on the map, and I cannot trade it. Hence, it is just taking the space in the warehouse, and I cannot really do anything with it. I also noticed that I can virtually put here any number, so now that is 990,000 wood, and I have over 500,000 wood prepared already. Firewood is going up nicely. I have bark. Bark is only used here in the tannery. Come on, click on it. Yes, in the tannery. And the same with the lime. So there are 2 of these resources, but there's nowhere else to use them but for tannery. But that's fine, I guess. Okay, so I have this metal stuff in this warehouse. Let me just go like this. Okay, so I have leather, I have hides. So because the tannery uses 500 leather, and any cow or bull which is older than 1 year old generates 100 hides, hence this 13 will always stays here, because once I actually tried and just slaughtered a younger than 1 year old cow, and I realized that it does not give 100 hides, and so even if I use up all of these hides in the tannery, that 13 will always stays here. Yes, and I have actually one of this tunnel, but I think I actually built another one. There should be another one somewhere. Right here, yes. And it uses, these two are using loads of salt. So I really need to find salt and really need to trade salt all the time. I guess it is same with honey. People like honey, so trading honey is kind of important. Iron, you only get iron from trading because you cannot mine it. Although maybe in some future patches they will introduce beehive or something like this. What else shall I say? Oh yes, I have my stable. I saw that horses usually live for about 25 years and then they just die naturally, so yeah. I have about 5 or 6 of these wagon sheds as well. However, what I noticed is that they are rarely running. They are very rarely running, which means that I am feeding the horses. I'm using horse stack, I'm using horseshoe, water and everything. However, it is nearly always the horses are in the horse shed, in the wagon shed, and I don't really know how to encourage greater transportation with these, or greater use with these. I have cart parking. I have loads of carts everywhere. I have these hay barracks. I have a lot here, and I have quite a lot on this other side as well. And all together I 4 of these chicken coops here, because not long ago I actually built 2 more of these. Yes, so when it comes to the houses, so first, come on, first I built these houses here. This was the first street, and then I started building next to it, and then over here, and then I surrounded my trading post and a chapel, so these were all surrounded, and then I put here this other street. Then I started moving up here, and then I made a side branch here, and then I just started moving continuously. Basically there was a continuous building project of houses all the way to here, and then I figured that I can nicely, in a controlled manner, cut down this forest, which I wanna ultimately cut down and occupy. I can cut it down in a controlled manner as I am building houses on those areas. So that's what I have been doing. Yes, I have market stores everywhere. They are usually in pairs or threes. Yes, so that is actually 6 here, and then I have 2 more in here, and I have quite a lot of wells as well, because there was once when I ran out of water, and that was not so funny. Alright, anyway, so this is my little village, and I'm now at 57 years. I am planning to go up to 100 years, which would suggest that basically everybody who arrived to this village originally would have been replaced, and I'm really curious when is old Horboy, Horboy Senior, shall I say, is going to leave this little village behind. Plus, I'm also curious whether or not I can actually mine out this forest, and how much of this area I can actually occupy. Yeah, so that's the plan. Alright, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.